everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, our weekly podcast hosted by Natalie McFarland, me, and founder and president of McFarland Productions, and Scout Foster, our outreach marketing manager. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films, and of course, invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday. This week we have kind of a cool topic. This is about Scout, really. So what
Yay.
Scout is doing is she's yeah, right. She's in a master's program at Texas Tech University, and it's a Master's of Arts in Mass Communications, right? Did I get
You
it?
nailed it.
Sweet.
Got
Look
it.
at me go. And I think kind of what's cool about this is that you've utilized a lot of what we do at McFarland Productions or projects that we've done, or even we've worked on some campaigns that then, kind of tied into what you're doing in your master's program. It's been kind of a fun side by side between your program and this. So let's start here. Why did you decide to pursue a master's, and what made you want to put all that extra work in, I guess? What made you want to get a master's?
Don't forget about the extra money either. That's also
Oh, well, yes, that too.
I think it comes down to I chronically want to achieve more. It's like actually a diagnosis at this point. It's a problem.
We need do better t-shirts or hats or something.
We do. Not that you have to have a master's degree to feel like you to keep. I said level up the other day, and Lane is like, who actually says that? And I'm like, oh.
I've heard people say it.
Okay.
Maybe Lane doesn't say it.
I don't think Lane would say it, but I feel like that's what I don't know. I don't know another way to say that. Anyways, you don't have to have a master's degree.
Push forward, maybe. I don't know.
Level up. Yeah, push forward. But it just felt like something that I enjoy school. I enjoy learning. I feel like I've been a lifelong learner. I've always been a researcher. I've always been very into learning very odd, I don't know, niche things. And then when I was graduating with my undergrad, I was like, wow,
which was in
agricultural communications.
What's your program? That's right.
At Tech. So when I was done there, I was obviously very happy to be done at I feel like when you're so close to being done, you're like, I can't wait to be done. You know what I mean?
My senioritis was strong at the end of my bachelor's degree.
Yes.
I think at that time I knew I wasn't going to fully end up in the field that I had gotten a degree in.
You're just like, meh, what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I finished strong, right?
Yeah.
I'm too prideful and don't want to, I just don't like to do things half-ass,
Anyway,
I get it though.
Yeah.
Wanting to be done.
So I knew that I wasn't going to do anything immediate. I was ready to take a break from school. I was ready to do life things, career things. But it did just stay in the back of my mind, maybe I'll get a master's one day. And then my best friend from college went in to get a master's degree, and she's like, I love this program. This is the best program. I've learned so much. I've met great people. It's the same program. So she had her undergrad in agricultural communications. She did it on campus.
She did it on campus though, right?
Right after her undergrad. Yeah. So that kind of inspired me to just go ahead and get it done. It's a year-long program. So I'm like, I can do anything for a year. What is this? What would I do with this time anyways? My mom, growing up when we were kids, she's like, the time is going to pass anyways. So don't let the time that it takes to do something persuade you not to do it. So
sure.
I don't think I have one reason why I did it. I just think that it all eventually came to a head, and I'm like, now I'm going to apply. And if I get in, I'm doing it. And if I don't, we'll regroup later. I just kind of left it up to fate, I guess.
Who has a decade of experience at least in marketing and an undergrad in the field, and
I
like she wasn't going to make it in.
Well, you never know. I don't know. You don't know who the other people are applying, I don't know who my competition
Uh,
is.
yeah, I don't know about that. I
But
feel like universities like good candidates, and you certainly are in that.
I also I loved my agricultural communications program, and it was very hard for me to actually not do a master's in agricultural communications. Like I was very on the fence for a while, even after I applied to like media comm college. I was like, should I just apply to AgCom too? And then if I get accepted into both, then I have to pick. And if I get accepted into one, then obviously like I'll go with that one. I didn't end up doing that. I stuck with MCOM, and obviously I got in. But the whole point of why I started that story is because I love to learn from different people. So I have learned so much that I could have learned it. I don't want to say like I wouldn't learn it if my master's was in AgCom, but like just different perspectives like really are everything. And I also love that I have an like half ag degree and then full, I mean I have a full ag degree, but
Marketing
like
degree.
agricultural communications, and then I have something completely different, and I think that they mesh like so incredibly well.
Yeah, I think I like that you didn't just like continue in the same program. I
Mhm.
feel like, you're right. Like, I also feel like it takes some of these outside examples to make
Yeah.
marketing within the industry work,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's why so many people are hiring like ex NASCAR employees,
Right.
right? Like, I know, like, I'm pretty sure it was PBR that had a few that came from NASCAR,
Mhm.
maybe. And, they're involved with, multiple other sports and that sort of thing. And there's lots of crossover
Yeah.
between like PRCA and racing. Like, there's quite a few like lines
Yeah.
that are being blurred because we're learning from those
Well,
industries.
I also didn't want I wanted to like diversify my education and my experience because I most of my experience is in ag western brands and like that industry. I do have some experience in like insurance and restaurant, like different industries, but I don't know. I think it makes me like a more well-rounded in my education and experience. If that makes
Sure.
sense.
Yeah, I agree. So you are at the time that we're recording this, you're less than a month away, but by the time this comes out, you're
Yeah.
graduated by then.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
graduate second weekend in August?
Yes. The 8th, I think.
That's right. Cool. So knowing that we're recording this a little bit prior to
Mhm.
your graduation,
Mhm.
um, you've been working on a project. Obviously, you have a little bit to finish up here.
Mhm.
Can you talk some about the project? What is the topic? How did it go? What was the process? All those things.
Yeah, so my master's report, there's two tracks to a master's degree. You can do like a final master's project and then a master's thesis. Um, Basically, to my understanding, the only difference, well, I think there's a large difference in the project component of it, like the work and study that you're doing, but like in goal wise, I understand it to be thesis is for like more research based. And if you wanted to get a PhD, they also do a lot of like graduate assistantship. So there's like on campus time.
Seems like it's a
And
lot more on campus.
it's
Yeah.
it's like a lot more in depth to me. But I already knew that I wasn't going to get a PhD, so I picked the final project route, which is more so like you're going into the industry, like you're going to work, like,
You're going to go do the thing.
right,
Yeah. Also more friendly to work at the same time.
right, that. So I picked the final project route, and my final project, I actually started it my first semester of school. So I've done like 3 full semesters, but I've had classes like split up into like mini semesters. So I don't know how you want to count that, but 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. So in the fall, I had a research methods class that we obviously started like learning different types of research and qualitative and quantitative and just a lot like things that maybe you did know from working in the industry, but now there's like a full process and like a formal name, which has been like my entire time in school. I'm like, yeah, I do this every day, but I didn't know that that was like a true thing. Anyways, back to my project. I started my project literature review that semester, and I've been working on it really ever since in different classes. So I feel pretty ahead of the game here. We have like 3 weeks left. My paper's actually due on Wednesday, so I have like less than a week to finish up my paper on this. Anyways, the question you asked me is what my project is about. My project is why does the social media management position have the quickest employee burnout rate? Which is like a very loaded topic.
Did you focus
But
on agencies or did you do like across the board
I
marketing
so
departments?
to honestly to get the numbers of participants that I needed, I'm already really narrowing my research down to social media management positions. Like I can't just send it to everyone I know in marketing and ask them to fill it out. So I
Hmm.
did open it up for agency, in-house, and freelancers. I had a couple questions on if influencers counted, and pretty much I ruled out no. However, I
Yeah, it's
understand it's just a different
yeah,
type of
it's different.
management. It's a different type of management.
Yeah.
It's more of a personal account, and I understand that it is a full business these days, and like you run it as a professional. It's
I
just
think
a
the
little
tactics
different.
are just really different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, right now I'm finishing my final research and data collection on why we have so many social media employees burning out, which has
Yeah.
actually been incredibly enlightening. And actually
Um
very validating too.
yeah. Top 3 data points that were the most interesting to you, either through the classes that you took or through your research that you feel like are playing into your final project.
Oh, okay. So I thought that you were going to ask me like from my data, like what was the most interesting. So I was really pulling that answer. Um, you mean like
It
overall,
can
like
be either
not?
one. Yeah, like overall, but like maybe that led to some of your research.
I actually think what led to my research is being in social media and watching everybody burn out in different
Hmm.
roles, not even just at McFarland Productions, but like I had a couple years freelancing and I have friends that freelance and I have friends as social media managers and I have
You've worked in other
like other
agencies
yeah, like other agency experience and that was actually my
and we've talked to many in-house managers that are
yeah,
going through the same thing,
yeah.
you know.
So I actually think that was like the start of my interest in this particular project. But in my research methods class, we had to do well. Also, we have a communications theory class. I took those in the same semester, so I don't actually remember which one it maybe was, but we had to do research on many different types of communication theories. Again, like it could be in either class. I don't remember which one like this it
Hmm.
actually was, but anyways, and there is where I found a bunch of data on how social media can like negatively impact users or viewers or like the audience, whoever is using social media. So I think that's like kind of where it also maybe inspired me to collect some on like more the professional side of it instead of just only looking at personal consumption, which also disclaimer, like everything is great in moderation, like there is
Hmm.
such a major role that social media plays in marketing and I understand that and like we need it and it's not going away, but I think that the entire point of my project is to find like what exactly is happening, why it's happening and how we can fix it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a whole tangent.
What
Sorry.
are some data points you got? You did the survey. Maybe talk about your survey first, and then let's talk about data
Okay, yeah.
points.
So I decided to do a survey. There's many different types of research you could do. So like a focus group. Some people do a content analysis. I decided a survey. Honestly, because I love to hear other people's opinions. Like I really do love like the psychology behind how people think and why they think that. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted to do something with like hearing people out almost on it. A focus group would have been great. I just don't have the means to do a focus group right now. If that would be like a great on campus style
Mm-hmm.
data collection. Anyways, I decided to do a survey for many reasons, like I've said. But again, Google also pulls a lot of the, like puts together the analysis for you. So I'm like, oh, that would be
Mm-hmm.
like super easy. Anyways, started a survey. I don't know how many questions it is actually. I didn't number them. Probably like 30-ish.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
30-ish, heavy on the ish. Questions about like obviously we cover demographics, so like gender, age range, experience. We kept it pretty anonymous, so I didn't ask for like name or location or income. I didn't ask like any of
Mm-hmm.
those. I didn't really think that any of those would have. Income actually might have played a role. Maybe like
Maybe, but
that
I
would.
think company culture plays more.
Okay, so this is actually really interesting, and I feel like that topic I'm gonna like. I don't want to like exit right here.
Yeah.
Um, what was I saying? Now I'm thinking about.
You were doing
Yeah,
demographics
okay. So
that
obviously we
like general
pulled.
demographics.
Yes, thank you. Obviously I have some questions that cover demographics. I have questions on like the technical parts of what your role entails. On support, like do you feel supported internally? Do you feel supported externally? On analytics, like do you feel when things are going well, do you feel like you're burnt out even when things are going well? Do you feel like you're only burnt out when things are going like poorly? Personal life, work life balance, company culture, like it really there's a very wide variety of questions that were asked. I'm still today in the collection phase. Like I have a few rolling in every day, but for the most part, like we're about to wrap up because my paper is about to be due.
Your goal is 100, right?
My goal is
100
100.
people
I'm
on
at
the survey.
70. Yeah. Or close to
Okay,
70.
cool.
So,
Cool.
but yeah, let me just I honestly just want to read you some of this data because you kind of got me like into
Yeah, let's
the
do it.
weeds over here. I haven't pulled it up, so let me like move this a little bit. I think I'm just going to tell you like some of the most shocking things on here because then we are going to do a whole like burnout episode later that I feel like I can really get into
Mhm.
the weeds here. Um, most people are female, which is really I did expect that in social
I
media.
kind of expected it too, to be honest.
Um,
I feel like marketing general is maybe more female heavy. I don't actually
I
know
think
that for sure as a
so.
stat, but seems like it.
I feel like I know a lot of people like video and photo who are male, and then people on like more of the
Video
side.
especially.
Yeah,
Video is much more heavy male than
yeah.
female.
But yeah, I think in general marketing is pretty female. Um, my two biggest age ranges were 25 to 34, so that's 53% of my participants. And then the next one is 18 to 24. Again, I think that was pretty, like, I wasn't shocked
Tracks
here.
for me.
Bunch of different industries, bunch of different job titles. Most people have worked in their role only a couple of years, which I find interesting that we're already like on the burnout train.
Mhm.
So like 48%, almost 49% of people have been in their current role for 1 to 3 years. And the burnout rate, I didn't ask like what is your rate of burnout, but because that's like kind of subjective. Like I feel like people answer that
Mm-hmm.
differently.
Hard to rate.
Right. But reading their comments, I'm like, wow, we have been in this role for most people 1 to 3 years, and actually, the comments are kind of sad, to be honest with you. But very validating and like very helpful. Everyone who has participated in this has been like very,
Transparent.
yeah, that's the best word for it. Thank you. Okay, anyways, like let's get into some of like the juicy stuff here. Hold on, let me find this one that I like really. Okay, well, first off, I asked people to rate like their level of pressure they feel to produce high quality content on a scale 1 to 5. Like 1 being no pressure, 5 being extreme pressure. This one actually has gone down a little bit in the past couple days, so it is kind of cool to see how the percentages like change based on.
More people gives
Yeah,
you a better sample.
yeah. Okay, so 50% of people answered with a 5. So 50% of people, obviously in my survey, like there are limitations here. Like I'm not asking every single person in social media, but like
Mm-hmm.
the people who took this survey, 50% of them say they feel immense pressure, basically extreme pressure, to quote. And then 35.5% answered a 4. So there's really only like a handful. There's
So it's all high end.
yeah,
It's all high end
yes.
pressure.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that's really something. After that question, I asked, like, what are the specific challenges and stressors that are related to workload? And a ton of it was this is a direct quote. There is a heavy lack of respect. Sure. Felt that actually sometimes. Um, there's another one in here about like how you never clock out. Like you're always on. I'm like, that
Yeah.
is that you and I talk about that all the time.
Yeah. We try to balance that constantly.
Yeah.
Where social media is a very like happen right now kind of game,
Yeah.
but like, could it wait till Monday?
Yeah.
Could it wait till the next business
Yeah.
day? And if it can we mitigate as much as that as humanly possible from like the, 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. the next day or like through the weekend stuff? Like, how much of that can we mitigate? Some of that is done with schedulers, but
Yeah.
like not entirely.
Yeah. I mean, there's room for like error in those too, So
Sure.
the next one is how often do you how often do you experience feelings of stress or anxiety related to your job? 24% of people said always, and then 50% of people said often. So I'm like, okay, we're back to like a vast majority of people experience stress and anxiety.
74% are often or above.
Yeah, yeah. The last one that I want to like really share here, because I want to save some stuff to talk about like in the burnout episode. I just want to give like a glimpse into what I'm doing here. How often have you ever considered leaving your current role due to burnout? And 61% of people said yes. And then 30% of people said no. 8% of people said not sure. So to me, that's like 69% of people have definitely
That
considered
have
it.
at least debated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang.
The thought has come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's like like very interesting stuff in the rest of this. I just want to save some of it to really like dive deep into in the burnout episode that we're gonna record. But yeah, we cover everything from like support to how like you might feel supported. Like, what are some things that could change? Like, what are your suggestions? Like, what do you think leads to this? Yeah. So, anyways, the survey has been very eye opening and helpful, and also validating to me as a past social media manager. And then also just like, I feel like I can maybe see those tendencies like a little bit better now.
I think that that this research, like, I want to go into like what you're going to do with it from here, but like, I feel like this research could be like super beneficial for companies to understand,
Yeah.
or agencies, companies, or
Hmm.
freelancers to either, as a freelancer, better design your contract, as an
Right.
agency to better design the position or figure out backup plans
Hmm.
or mitigating after hours and, other types of issues, or as an internal company, understanding like what is a social media manager, what are their lines, what am I really requiring, and what is my salary rate.
Yeah.
That's really true of any of those, right?
Hmm.
Whether you're an internal company hiring a freelancer, or an agency with a manager, or a freelancer yourself,
Hmm.
all of those can be maybe balanced. It's not all about the money. Like, compensation is not going to fix all of this, right? So like trying to figure out how to give a person a break, you know, or like, I don't split the role enough that somebody doesn't feel quite so
Yeah.
drowned by it.
Yeah.
Because it can drown you really quick, especially if there's like pressure to share, tags to stories, and, stories on a whim. And I don't care how planned out you're going to be. I don't care if you're the most organized company on the planet. I don't care. And again, if you're internal or external of a brand that you're doing the social media management for, it doesn't really matter. Social media, a seemingly non-emergent industry, is absolutely emergent. And that is actually true across marketing. Like,
Hmm.
it feels like a non-emergent or industry, but sometimes I feel like I need like lights and sirens, right? Like, like,
It
because
it does
that's kind
seem
of
like
what
that, doesn't it?
happens.
I feel like I should be
Yeah.
like running around yelling like people do in an ER sometimes. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I need a crash cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah. Right.
literally no one is dying. No one. Like,
Yeah.
we all are
So
going
we can
through.
save some of that talk
Yeah.
for the burnout
Yeah.
episode. But okay, so you're getting the data. Now
Hmm.
what?
Well, to be very literal, now I have to compile all of it and write like a 30-page paper. Like, I'm not exaggerating that.
Thank goodness you're a writer.
Thank God. I know my dad, I talked to my dad last night and he's like, "Have you started?" I'm like, I mean, kind of. Like, I've been working on this in multiple classes, by design,
I'm
by
sure
the way.
pieces
So
and
they don't actually, they gave us like a minor suggestion. Like, whatever topic you pick here, you could possibly use it in your final project. But they didn't actually, they could have been more convincing of that. Like, I feel like they could
yeah,
maybe,
they should have said like carry yourself a theme.
yes, yes.
It'll save you a lot of
Yes.
work.
So, word of advice, if you are listening to this and you might go to grad school, just pick something and stick with it. Like, I wrote all of my papers about the uses and gratifications theory in theory. Like, if I have to use a theory, that's the theory I'm using. I wrote everything about qualitative. No, wait. I still get these confused. What's not the numbers one?
Qualitative.
Yes, okay. I was like quantity and quality or quantitative again. Like, I
Yeah.
wrote all of my stuff on not the numbers one because I'm not a numbers gal. I think it's interesting, but like, I'm not really like
It's useful.
it's useful,
Yeah.
but I'm not really fueled by the numbers of really anything. So do yourself a favor, pick something, stick to it. That's what I decided to do. So like, I have probably a 16-page paper already that I haven't worked on this summer at all. The other 14 pages are going to be on my analysis and the limitations to it, which I have to like today I have started on the limitations part of it because now I'm starting to see in the data like where I could have gone. Not like where I went wrong, but like where if I was going to do this again, like how I could improve it, like the income. There was another one I thought of earlier, but I don't remember what it was. But anyways, like the income, I think I could have covered that a little bit better. But anyways, what I'm going to do with it, is that what the original question was? Right? Okay. What I'm going to do with it, or what I'm doing now, is I'm wrapping all of that up. with the plans of graduating, obviously. It's looking good so far. After graduation, I have really loved I really loved the theory class. Like, I didn't think I was going to like that at all. And it was probably one of the hardest classes that I took in like the whole program, but I loved it. I'm in a class right now that's internal communications, and I freaking love that class. I just surveyed everyone at McFarland Productions, and I was like texting you the other day. I'm like, this is so interesting. Like, I feel so in the know, and like so, which I feel I'm always in the know. I feel like with McFarland Productions employees, but like I don't know. You don't usually like really ask.
You're just not as direct about it. Yeah.
Right. Like the door is always open. Tell me feedback. Okay, like I want to make your life easier too, but like I just don't know if I always ask. Like, tell me what is not working. You know what I mean? Or like, what's the most effective way? So I am really loving my internal communications class. I probably like dream setup would this is also like very convenient because I get to tell you, my boss, what my dreams dream
By the way, this is my plans.
yeah, by the way,
Good thing we do goals check-ins all
this
the
is
time.
a
So.
great time to share with you what I'm thinking. Anyways, I'm loving my internal communications class. My dream would be to utilize that further. I don't necessarily have like an end goal with that, but I think we both know that.
Did you just become HR?
Well, I feel like Kevin is.
Move
I mean,
aside, Kevin.
he doesn't want it. I think. Anyway,
He does great at like company logistical things, right? So like
yes,
payroll and
yeah,
all those
yeah.
HR functions. I'm going to try not to tangent too much. I actually don't like HR.
I know that you don't.
I actually think that HR is more of a problem than they are a help in most
I
businesses.
do agree with that in most cases.
When I entered the workforce, I had a very, very different impression about what their intent was, and what you're talking about is what it should be, right?
Right.
And this is not to slam on HR people. Like, there's lots of logistical things to do, and I think that's great,
Yeah.
right? Like, we need those people doing those things and getting time cards on time
Yeah.
and
I don't want to do
benefits
that.
and all those things, right?
Yeah.
But I think that HR should really be like, I think Katie Schrag was calling it like people director or
Yeah,
something the other day when she and I were kind of talking about HR. Anyway, I think what you're talking about is like really what I would hope HR is, right? Is
Well,
somebody who like tries, it's almost
yes.
operational, like it's almost CMO or
Kinda.
almost COO, but not quite.
Right.
It's more like people.
Right.
I don't know.
I think it's honestly like
people, right?
it's people, and I think it's building people and helping people and like supporting them where they need support, but then also like finding their strengths and putting them there. Which leads me to my next point. The other thing I would like to do with this piece of paper is adjunct professor, which is very funny because I feel like you try to give me things all the time to support me in that. And I'm like, please no, please, I don't want to do that. Please no. Please move on.
I do get a kick out of that. Just this week, when we're recording this week, Scout spent an hour with an job shadow, intern, mentorship, however you want to call it, that we had here in the office. And she's a high school student, so very young in this game, right? But has an interest in love for film and commercial work. So anyway, we put Scout and her together, and she was like, I feel like this was a setup. And I was like, adjunct professor.
I mean, I didn't have any time to plan really either. So part of me was just like, what can I talk about? Anyway, it was totally fine. I did enjoy it, and I do love like the whole
You did
like
a great job.
mentoring. Well, okay, also it was I don't like to talk on this is really funny. I don't really like to talk on like Zoom meetings or oh my god, my computer's about to die. That would have been so
On
bad.
camera.
Yeah. I I thought it was plugged in, but she wasn't. Um, I don't really like to talk on like Zoom virtual meetings. Like I am so much better in person. Like I
So
don't
we
know.
started a podcast,
So we started a podcast.
a video podcast.
I haven't gotten any better. And I still hate virtual meetings and yeah, period.
But love remote work.
I
You're a
love remote
conundrum.
work. I am actually I do feel no, I love remote work because I love being at home and I love like the flexibility it gives. But I'd like to do it also by myself, but I also love people and love working with people. So I am an oxymoron. That's me. Anyways, I don't know where we were going with that, but I would love to adjunct professor too.
Yeah.
When I'm done, which is also
So sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like that's also a little bit why I went mass communications and not agricultural communications because just like the universities around me was like that was another factor from the beginning topic we were talking about.
Sure. So you culminate all of this research into a 30-page paper. Maybe there's a summary or something like that. Maybe, cliff notes for those of us that easily TLDR.
Yeah, it's called an abstract.
But
I do have that written.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. I love that. Maybe with some stats and figures.
I'll put some stats in there, yeah.
Are you, one, allowed to share your research in its entirety or in its abstract? And is that something that you feel like companies inside of and outside of the Western industry could benefit from?
I don't see why not. Like why I couldn't share it. Like from more of like a legal standpoint, I don't know why I couldn't share it. I like everything is cited and I did all the work.
And it's anonymous, so we're not giving anybody's job away.
Right. And I really think this could be so helpful. So that is part of my plan. I do want to share it, and I like jokingly said I was going to take it on the road the other day when I was talking. I'm like, I'm going to go like into companies like Undercover Boss and be like,
PRCA convention, I have a speaker for you.
please no, actually. No, I did say that. Like, I think I would really love to do that. I also, another thing about me is I love being uncomfortable. Like, I really love to challenge myself, and like public speaking is a challenge for me. Mostly, I think, due to like rural living and remote work, but it's something that I did really used to love doing. So I think that maybe that's where I could, like, I would be happy to publish it. I'd be happy to talk about it. I'd be happy to, if it's going to be useful for anyone, like I want them to have it. The only thing is I feel like I could maybe do like more research on it. I would love to have a larger, like, more people take it, like a larger
Sample size.
Thank you. But yeah, like I would love to do, another podcast with full, complete data. I'd love to publish this. I'd love to talk about it. People just in a trapped listening to me speak. I would love that. Yeah.
Captive audience, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Might share it in
maybe we
elevators. I
can-
don't know.
Yeah. Maybe let's do this. Let's share at least your abstract for sure with this episode. And so that should be below, probably in the blog on McFarlandProductions.com. And then we can do like a follow-up episode since we're recording this quite a ways before. We'll do a follow-up episode where maybe we'll be able to publish your full paper and kind of talk some about what are some things that companies, agencies, freelancers can learn from this data, and how can we mitigate some of this burnout, because it's a turnover issue and it's a burnout out of the marketing field issue for some people, and it can take them from loving the marketing side to hating the marketing side. And like, how can we fix that? As a leader, as a business owner, as a past social media manager myself, right? Like, as I started out managing social media personally, like I did it for our clients at first. as being those people, all of those people, right, in one person, this is important from all angles, right? It's important to me as a leader to make things better for people who are working for us. It's important to me that clients who potentially are hiring an agency or hiring an in-house person understand this, because we all really should wake up in the morning and at least like our job,
Right.
right? I'm not saying that every single person should have an absolute passion for every single thing that they're doing. I think that's
Right.
maybe not totally reasonable, or maybe not in everybody's personality.
Yeah.
But I do think we should at least get up in the morning and like our job, because we spend too many hours doing it.
And life is too short to do
And
something you don't really want to do.
right, the time's going to go by either way, like your mom said, right? We might as well at least spend it partially, mostly, relatively, in
Also,
something at least enjoyable.
it takes up way too much of our time to be miserable at work. Like it does. And then it does affect your life outside of work. Also, it's never going away.
Yeah, a side note on that, I also think that your life outside of work also impacts your
does.
work life. Like, you're a whole human, right? So how do we do better in life
Yeah.
and have a better life and be more fulfilled in life? It's putting all the pieces
Yeah.
together. And this is a big one.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're a social media manager. Okay, so I think let's maybe call it at that, because we're going to do a burnout episode. We're going to do a follow-up episode on this. But if you're interested in more about Scouts Masters, we'll figure out an episode number. Maybe it's December, because we've got a couple of holes in December, that we'll go ahead and talk more in depth about the research and everything that you found. Maybe suggest some solutions based on the data that you're seeing, and like some possibilities for various companies, things to consider, and maybe publish that whole paper if we're sure allowed to do that in December. But Scout, thank you for chatting about your master's. I think it's super cool that you're working hard to grow yourself and grow your knowledge base. I know here at McFarland Productions, we've already seen your growth grow the company too, and that's in all fields, not just with your master's. But I am a huge proponent of personal growth, because I think that personal growth, professional growth, both of them impact personal and professional lives, right? So we all can, in your words, do better.
Simple as that. Period.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate you for sharing that. And unless there's anything else, should we wrap the episode?
No, thank you for having me on this podcast, and I'm on every episode. Thank you for
thank you for coming back every week.
But thank you for giving me the time, the opportunity to talk about like things that I'm very passionate about, and also things that I'm learning that obviously do correlate to McFarland Productions, but can also be like outside our direct, like what we service. Obviously, this is not just like niche down to like ag and Western, so it's always fun to maybe like branch out a little bit. But thanks.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks.
Bye.
We'll wrap this one. Bye.